Triple E EDC back again with another knife video. So this is the Benchmade Mini Adamas, and I did a video on this comparing it to the full-size Adamas and the full-size Auto Adamas, both the manual and the auto. So you guys can check that out. Go ahead, if I remember, I'll go ahead and link that below. But otherwise, go ahead and check that video out. It really does, explain a lot of the Adamas family and how that works. This is obviously a very hot knife for this year. This is the release in Cru-Wear for the Mini Adamas, which again is a new release for this year. The Auto Adamas and the Manual Adamas have been around for quite a while, and it also features a redesign of the ergonomics and the general thicknesses involved in the knife for the larger size and for this new design here. In order to make it more EDC friendly. So I do have a video, if you guys may remember from way back, where I talked about why I sold my original Adamas. That was referring to the D2 version, which was more blocky. This is not as blocky, and I'm very happy with this knife overall. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. I'll talk about why I like this knife and why I do recommend it, and we'll get into that. All right, so let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. I don't have my normal size comparison knives here, but let's go ahead and take a look at the Spyderco Endura here. As you can see, that's a much bigger knife. Here is the Benchmade Auto Adamas full size. Here is the Spyderco PM2 and the Benchmade Bugout. So you can see it's much more along the size of the Benchmade Bugout than the PM2. All right, just for posterity, let's do a couple of others. Here is the Endura XM18, which is the same size as the ZT-0562, and here is the ZT-0762. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the good and the bad of this knife. So one thing right off the bat that I love about this knife is I love that it's a shrunken down, nice thick boy knife, right? Because one of the things about the Auto Adamas, the regular Adamas, is that they're really kind of tactical military style knives that are the type of knives you can use as a shovel in the field if you need to, right? They're thick, they're sturdy, they can withstand a whole bunch of weight and pressure. They've done all that weight testing and everything on the axis lock and how much it takes to break that lock when you've got it engaged on these knives with these heavy steel liners and everything. And it really is a tank of a knife. So one of the things I like right off the bat is they managed to take this tank of a knife, this larger tank of a knife, right? They managed to take that and shrink it down to this size where it's a really EDC friendly size, like very EDC friendly. I'm honestly surprised because it was hard to carry the original Adamas, the D2 Adamas, as a everyday carry. It is easier to carry the newer versions of the full-size Adamas, but this one is super easy to carry. If you wanted a tank knife, but you don't want a huge knife, or you have, blade length restriction laws that make it harder for you to carry larger knives, this is your option. This is amazing as an option in that category. And I'm just so psyched about it. I love the fact that it comes in two different colors. They have a gray blade with the black G10, and this is the OD green G10 with the flat dark earth blade. I love the fact that they have those options. Just great color combinations to go with the sort of tactical tactical and military applications behind the original Adamas. It's a good ode to the heritage here. This is a Shane Siebert design. And you can definitely tell that he likes to use these fullers and a lot of these the speed holes and things. His designs are pretty distinctive, and you can usually tell when they're his, and the Adamas is no exception to that. So I like that as well. This is a really good use of the axis lock. Some of Benchmade's knives are great uses of the axis lock, and some aren't. Like the Bugout and the 940 are great uses of the axis lock, right? But there are some other knives that aren't as good uses of the axis lock. You know, I'm not thinking any right off the top of my head, but you have the axis flipper, obviously, which is a bad flipper. But you know, there are some other knives that are a little, you know, more unwieldy with the axis lock. One actually now that comes to mind is the manual version of the Fact. I thought it was a little bit hard to deploy with the lightness of the blade, and you know, the auto effect sort of solved that problem, but the manual version I think wasn't the greatest use of the axis lock. I know some people are going to disagree with me on that, but it's truly how I feel. The blade is too light for the axis lock. So in any event, this does not have that issue. The blade is heavy enough that it is a great use of the axis lock. The proportions on the knife are excellent. You have, you know, jimping in the right spaces so that when you put it in the back of your hand here and pull against the axis lock while it's in the back of your hand, sorry, hit the camera, you're gonna end up, it feels good to deploy it, you know, from that angle and open and closed, which, you know, means that they got their proportions right, they got the axis lock right, and they got the weight on the blade right, so that it all works very well together. So that's great. Next is the ergonomics on this. The ergonomics on this are great, except for one thing. But overall, the ergonomics on this are awesome. I like to hold my knife with sort of my thumb up here, and because I do that, you know, this area over here actually makes a pretty good thumb rest. I would prefer if it didn't have this ramp here, because if I want to, you know, get behind it and use that as sort of a guard for piercing applications, it does feel like my thumb is jammed back a little bit. I have size large gloved hands, by the way. But overall, the ergonomics on this are great. You have nice contouring here of the handles, where, you know, whereas the old version of the Adamas, or the bigger version of the Adamas, was blocky, you have this contouring in, and it's continued here, it's continued here. You know, it goes all around the knife. You have this chamfering right here. It's just, I think they did a great job overall on this knife as far as improving the ergonomics. I don't know if they did so with Shane Siebert's blessing, but they definitely did this knife justice. So very, very happy with the ergonomics on this. I would, if I had to take it out of 10, I would say the ergonomics on this are probably a good 8 out of 10. I'm pretty happy with them overall, so I can't complain about that. Next comes with the deep carry clip. I know the old Adamas had a lot sticking out on the clip. Let me see, yeah, so you can see here, you still have a decent amount sticking out here, but less so on the Mini Adamas, which I like. I also like the fact that you have the Parkerized clip here. The Parkerized clip that Benchmade makes, the deep carry clip, is my favorite Benchmade clip. It wears well, you know, you can scratch it up, it doesn't show scratches too badly, you know, it has that sort of stonewashed almost look to it. It doesn't, you know, go crazy with any billboarding or anything, you just have the nice butterfly there. And it's a clip that works, you know, and you know, if it gets snagged on something and bends, it's a clip you can bend back. And with Benchmade's warranty, you know, you can either get a new clip sent to you, or if they won't do it, you know, for free, then you'll pay $7 to $10, you know, depending on who you buy it from. But you know, it's a great deal. As far as you know, being able to get those clips and get these things warranted. Next thing is Benchmade's warranty on their knives is just awesome. They have a great warranty. You can call them up for parts as long as they're not internal, and they'll send you those parts. You know, anything that requires disassembly of the knife itself, usually they won't send you. But, you know, if you lose screws out of it, or you have a clip issue or something, they'll usually send that stuff to you, no problem. If you have the stuff on the inside, they'll still fix it for you. You just got to send the knife in. That's really the only caveat. So, you know, very happy with their service. They also have Life Sharp, so they'll sharpen your knife for life for you. If you send it in. I don't have to do that. I would recommend that everyone learn how to sharpen their knives. But if you don't know how to do it, or don't want to do it, don't want to mess with it, then you definitely could send it in. Next thing, the blade steel on here is Cru-Wear. Cru-Wear is probably my favorite overall blade steel. It is an extremely tough steel, so it's resistant to chipping. It holds an edge for a good long while, and it's sort of like a like a medium between M4 and 3V, I guess, where it has some of that, a lot of the edge holding that M4 has, but a lot of the toughness that 3V has, and it just really is a great steel all around. It does, you know, it's not completely stain resistant. It is a tool steel, but I haven't had too much trouble with it. I live in Houston. I live in a humid area. It really hasn't been much of a problem, and they coat this with the coating, so I don't think it's going to be as much of an issue for anyone buying Cru-Wear from Benchmade, because they do coat, I think, all their Cru-Wear blades. So that is that's the next thing that's good. The price on this, you know, I'm going to go ahead and link it below. I'm blanking on the price. I think it's somewhere around the mid to high 100s. But, you know, the price on this is right in line with a lot of other stuff in Benchmade's lineup. And, you know, I think that's completely fair for what you're getting here. You know, I think these were maybe 180-ish or something. I can't, like I said, check below for the link. But this is... you know, regardless of where it is, sitting in that price range is a good price range for this knife. With how solid it is, the build quality, the G10, the Cru-Wear, the nice, you know, stainless steel liners here that are milled out. As you can see, they're weight relieved. And by the way, they're weight relieved like larger than these holes. So you have these holes here, and then you can see inside there's more weight relief on the metal that, you know, so you have additional weight relief beyond what these holes are. Which I think is a good move, because overall, you know, this is meant to be an EDC-able size. All right, so those are all the good. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the bad, because there is some bad here. You know, one of the things is I don't necessarily love the fact that they put black hardware, especially the black thumb studs, with the flat dark earth and the OD green. I think they, you know, should have gone with something else. I don't know that I necessarily would have liked flat dark earth hardware, but it just seems a little bit off to me. You know, that's just how I feel, especially with this thumb stud. I just don't like it. Now, as far as the black one I think has black hardware also, but it looks fine on that one because it's just all black and gray. It's really this color that I have that issue with. Next is where the clip hits on here, I think is fine. On the larger Adamas, by the way, just so you guys know, this is more of an issue I have with the larger Adamas. The clip hits a little bit more towards the hole here, and I'd prefer it hits, you know, on the space in between. So I do like the fact that the clip hits here, but it is a long clip for the knife. And that's really my biggest gripe with the clip on this knife. It seems like maybe they could have done, even though I prefer this clip, they could have done a mini deep carry clip. But I think I know why they went with this one, which is because this is meant to be more of a tankish knife, and this clip is not really a tankish clip. So I think that's what they were thinking with that. So even though I love this clip from Benchmade, it's my favorite clip, I'm not sure it's the best clip for this particular knife. Okay. Next thing on this, you know, I don't think there's a whole lot of other bad on this, frankly. It's really a great knife overall. I'm very, very happy with it. Like I said, I went ahead and linked it below. Check it out at DLT Trading. Check the links at DLT Trading. That does help the channel. I do get, you know, a percentage of the purchase price, but it's no cost to you. It definitely helps out the channel, helps out my helps me pay for the giveaways, and I do a lot of giveaways on the channel, so you know, keep that in mind. If you're not already a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get all my content. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button. Let me know in the comments below, you know, do you have the Mini Adamas? Have you tried the Mini Adamas? What do you think of it? Oh, one more thing that I just want to mention is, you know, this knife is for... So my conclusions here is that I do recommend this knife, okay, and I very much recommend this knife, but it's not for everyone. I think most people are going to prefer, you know, especially people who are like in an office setting, are going to prefer the Bugout or the 940 to the Mini Adamas. The Mini Adamas is a knife that is if you want to carry around a tank, but you want an EDC-able tank, this is your knife, right? That's who this is for. You know, if you want a really light EDC, you get the Bugout, and if you want a you know, an EDC that is a little bit tankish and a little bit light, the 940 is that happy medium. And my pick out of the bunch would be the 940, but that's just me. In any event, thank you guys again for watching, and appreciate you guys.